San Francisco bans flavored tobacco. Was that a good idea, or was it just sophistry? Watch and find out. So Malia Cohen, a member of the San Francisco Board of Supervisors, recently got a law passed that was pushed through in about 60 days with very little oversight to ban flavored tobacco products in San Francisco. Now there's a problem with this law. It specifically, as far as cigarettes, is only banning menthol cigarettes. Not regular cigarettes, but only menthol cigarettes. Now, while they're saying flavored tobacco products, the reality is there have not been any flavored tobacco as far as cigarettes available since 2009 when they were outlawed. Menthol, for some reason, was just considered, I guess, a normal flavor for cigarettes at the time. So menthol and regular flavored cigarettes were fine. Now they're not available for sale in San Francisco. Actually, the law goes into effect next year. So next year, you will not be able to buy menthol flavored cigarettes. This also covers the little cigarillos and like the Swisher, the grape and cherry flavored, pipe tobacco, shisha hookah tobacco, smokeless tobacco that's flavored, any tobacco that has a flavor other than tobacco to it, basically. Now the reason that Malia Cohen had gone after this is to help protect African Americans. And even our mayor, Ed Lee, said that they add the menthol in to get people hooked. The reality is they don't add menthol in to get people hooked. They add nicotine in to get people hooked. And in some cases, they actually do what they call ammoniating the tobacco leaves. They ammoniate the nicotine, essentially. That makes the nicotine even more addictive and produces more of a craving. So in reality, it's not the menthol that makes people addicted, it's the nicotine. I can appreciate her wanting to take a step because menthol cigarettes, 80% of African Americans who smoke menthol cigarettes. So she wants to attack that. I can appreciate that, except that she's really not, she's just focusing on one group of people to attack to save from smoking. If they really cared about smoking, she would have made a ban on all cigarettes and all tobacco products. Now I'll get back to this in a second. There was another thing that was also banned, is the e-juice or e-liquid used in vaporizers. And the reason is they are using as their excuse for why it's banned is because e-juices and e-liquids are flavored to attract kids. They're basically using the think of the kids line that immediately everyone's got to hop on board, because if you don't, then obviously you're not thinking about kids. Well, the thing is, I took her advice. I thought of the kids. I did some research. According to the CDC, there has been a significant drop in the use of cigarettes and vaporizers by kids. By kids, I'm referring to those who are minors, those who are under 21. The flavors they suppose is used to market the e-liquids and e-juices to kids, teenagers, etc., as if adults don't like the flavors of candy. If this were true, if anything with a candy flavoring that is bad for you was being marketed to kids and they wanted to stop it, there are plenty of cotton candy flavored vodkas, apple flavored vodkas, fruit flavored vodkas, which is essentially the same flavors that are used in the e-juices. So no one's looking to ban flavored vodkas, but they are looking to ban flavored tobacco products. And the reason e-juices have been classified as a tobacco product, the state of California found a little loophole because people were using the e-juice for a good reason. They wanted to stop smoking. There are less noxious chemicals available in e-juices than there are in cigarettes or cigars, etc. As a matter of fact, I asked my doctor the other day and he said, well, we don't have a long-term study, but we have found so far that using a vaporizer is better than smoking for you. Obviously, using nothing and getting off it completely would be the best. But currently, vaporizers, the majority of whom are used by adults who are trying to quit smoking. And to some of these people, they don't just want to get away from the nicotine and all the poisons in the cigarette, because with the e-liquids, it's very easy to ramp down the nicotine that you get because they sell it in different formulations. But also they want to get away from that taste of tobacco. So they're using e-juices. Sure, some of them have blueberry cheesecake flavoring. Some have an apple pie flavoring. I can see why these flavors might appeal to kids. The thing is, as I said, according to the CDC, they aren't appealing to kids. Kids are smoking less. Kids are using vaporizers less. There were even ads that were run on TV showing kids talking about how they're using vaporizers and hiding it from their parents. This was not exactly the most accurate of ads, but it helped the campaign. If a person doesn't smoke, they shouldn't start using a vaporizer because it looks cool. I don't know how much effect that's going to have, telling people that. But to people who smoke and have had that addiction for nicotine for years, I was one of them. The vaporizer, it provides something that the patch doesn't provide, the gum doesn't provide. There's that action of feeling like you're smoking without smoking. E-juice is made of 4 chemicals. Vegetable glycerin, which is used as a thickener and sweetener in foods. Propylene glycol, that always sounds really nasty and gets confused with polyethylene glycol, which is used in antifreeze. Propylene glycol is used as a sweetener in foods. Hospitals actually used to put it into their air conditioning systems as a sanitizer, basically, because it would clear the air of poisons. Then there's the flavoring, which is food grade flavorings. And then, of course, there's the nicotine, the last thing. Those are the 4 chemicals. Some of the reasons they brought it up to make e-juice sound bad is there are all these noxious chemicals found in shipments. Well, according to the FDA, actually, in a study that they did, they found that to be the case with e-juice that was imported into the U.S. Usually, like 90% of the time, e-juice that's not made in the United States is made in China. And this was going back 3-4 years when there wasn't as much regulation and checks for purity of it. Now 90% at least, if not 95%, of the e-juice that is available in stores or online is made in the USA, and it's made of those 4 ingredients that I told you about. Now overall, here's the bad thing about it. Ownership and use of menthol cigarettes, flavored tobaccos, flavored tobacco products, including the e-juices, is not illegal. The only thing that's illegal is selling them. So what I see happening is places like Daly City that are right across the border, very easy to get to. You're going to have cigarette stores with big signs that say, buy menthol cigarettes here. I know one guy who owns a cigarette store here in the city who also sells e-juice for vaporizers. And he said once the law goes into effect, because most of his business has to deal with cigarettes, cigars, and e-juice. Now, in the Sunset District, there is a large Asian population, and a lot of the Asians who smoke in the Sunset District do smoke menthol, so that's going to be a great loss to his business. So he's simply going to be closing this down. Whether or not he does, that's a different story. But essentially what this law is it's a bit of feel-good sophistry. I love the word sophistry. Sophistry is the intentional delusion of people by using lies and half-truths, not exactly telling you the full story. They're trying to make it sound bad. They're trying to make themselves look good. The reality is, I'm suspecting this isn't going to alter the amount of smokers. I started smoking many years ago. A pack of cigarettes back then cost 50 cents. Now, after, I believe it was Prop 56 passed in California, a pack of cigarettes in San Francisco costs close to $10. These cigarette shops are still in business. People are still smoking. It's not good for you. It's going to kill you. It's going to do some sort of thing to your body that is bad. So if anyone smokes, most of the people I know don't say, yeah, I really like smoking, I don't want to quit. They're looking for a way to quit that's going to make it easy for them. Cold turkey, tons of people say, oh, cold turkey, yeah, do it. You know, my uncle did it, my mom did it, whatever. That doesn't exactly work for people today. There's a lot more stresses on people, and it's going to be harder and harder for people to get away from cigarettes. Now, with something like a vaporizer that was created, it was actually created by a Chinese doctor, Chinese pharmacist. His name was Hong Lik. And he created it because he realized he was smoking and it was very detrimental to his health. His father was dying of lung disease, not lung cancer, but he created the first e-cigarette for his father to use to get him off of cigarettes, and he used it to get himself off of cigarettes. And from there, of course, things blossomed up quite a bit. Now, another problem with this ban is not only is it going to not really stop people, in my opinion, what's going to happen is, as far as electronic cigarettes are concerned, is the big tobacco companies have purchased companies that are making disposable e-cigarettes. They look like a cigarette, you use it until it runs out, you throw it away, you buy another one. Some of the better ones, you just have a little cartridge you throw away, and then you buy another one. With most vaporizers, what you end up throwing out is a very small piece of metal and some cotton that is recyclable. The electronic disposable e-cigarettes are not recyclable. They have batteries inside, and it's all sort of glued together very tightly. So ripping it all apart to extract the recyclable and the dangerous parts is very difficult. They're going to still be making money in the city. So, again, I do not think the law is going to work. It is just making government feel good. I really wish they would stop pulling out the think of the children thing, because they aren't really thinking of the children, because the children aren't using it. If selling something with a candy flavor means you're marketing it to children, then they would be going after flavored vodkas or that god-awful Fireball whiskey with the cinnamon flavoring in it. These are the things, if they really want to be upfront and honest with us, this is what they need to do. Really, it's all a PR move and nothing else. And once again, if you do smoke and want to quit and the patch and gum is not working for you, try a vaporizer, try an e-cigarette. Most of the people who are using them buy their e-juice online anyway. The vape shops are not really, they don't have a big enough selection for everyone, even if they're a big vape shop. It's just too hard for them. If you don't smoke, don't get a vaporizer because you think it's going to make you look cool. It doesn't. This is a device UCSF is running a smoking cessation program, and they are using vaporizers because they found them effective in helping people quit. That's what they're used for. It's for quitting. It's not for enjoying smoking.